During the First World War, survival often came down to what a man could improvise from the scraps around him. The industrial-scale chaos of the Western Front pushed soldiers to adapt faster than any army manual could keep up. Mud drowned rifles, cold stiffened fingers, and shrapnel punished anyone who wasted a second fumbling for gear. In these conditions, the official kit was never enough. What kept many soldiers alive wasn't the equipment issued by the quartermaster, but the improvised kit they assembled themselves in the deep misery of the trenches. These ad hoc tools, carried in pockets, socks, or strapped under tunics, became priceless. And while history books focus on battles and generals, the soldiers' own inventions rarely get discussed, even though many of them shaped modern outdoor and survival gear. Today, we're going to break down one of the most important of these improvised kits, a makeshift setup that saved lives in the trenches and continues to offer lessons for survivalists and bushcraft enthusiasts alike. The improvised trench kit begins with understanding the conditions soldiers were forced to endure. To understand the significance of this kit, you need to understand the environment it came from. The trenches were pits of freezing water, rotting corpses, collapsing walls, and constant artillery. Soldiers slept in mud that swallowed boots overnight. They handled equipment that rusted in hours. Any gear left unprotected was useless by morning. The official supplies issued to troops were designed for field maneuver, not static trench warfare. Soldiers quickly realized they needed tools that were compact, fast to access, and able to withstand constant moisture. The improvisation was born not out of creativity, but out of desperation. When your survival depends on reacting instantly, lighting a fuse under fire, tightening a rifle strap, cleaning mud from a bolt, sealing a wound, you don't have the luxury of digging through a pack. So soldiers began assembling what became known informally as the trench pocket kit. At the core of the World War I improvised kit was this small, multi-use bundle. You know, the sort that could do the job of a dozen different tools. The heart of this kit, well, it varied a bit depending on the regiment and the country, but the main idea stayed the same. A small, waterproofed roll or pouch. Inside, you'd find a compact knife, a cloth soaked in lanolin, a few feet of twine or wire, a candle stub, a bit of fat wood or waxed match cord, and a little sewing and repair set. None of this looked all that impressive to outsiders, really. But in the trenches, each piece carried a life-saving purpose. That cloth kept rifles working by wiping moisture off the bolt. The wire? It repaired torn straps or secured helmets when chin straps snapped. The wax cord caught fire instantly, which was absolutely crucial when wet conditions made ignition nearly impossible. The candle stub gave quick light in those pitch-dark underground dugouts, and the repair kit kept uniforms and packs functional, since new gear might not show up for weeks. What made this kit truly extraordinary was that it wasn't issued by the army. Soldiers put it together themselves, often using ration tins or old tobacco pouches. And because it was improvised, every single item had to earn its place. In trench warfare, small failures could kill. A leaking water bottle meant dehydration, and a loose strap meant your rifle swung unpredictably as you moved. A torn glove could mean frostbite. Mud clogged rifles all the time, and a gun that misfired even once could cost a life. The improvised kit let soldiers make those immediate fixes, even while under fire. If a strap tore during a charge, well, a length of wire or string closed the gap. If a boot separated from its sole, which honestly was pretty common in knee-deep mud, the repair set reinforced stitches just long enough to get back to the line. This wasn't about convenience. It was survival. The lanolin cloth was especially vital. Soldiers kept it tucked inside their jackets so it stayed warm enough to apply. A quick wipe removed moisture and protected metal surfaces with a thin grease layer. That could make the difference between a rifle firing or jamming when it mattered most. Modern survivalists, often overlook this principle. Small, multi-use maintenance items really do stabilize your entire kit. The WWI improvised kit still applies today because, well, the principles behind it remain essential for preparedness. The strength of this trench-borne approach lies in selecting just a handful of small items that prevent cascading failures. This is where, honestly, the modern viewer can learn directly from history. A compact repair set with a needle, strong thread and safety pins can keep your clothing functional during a storm or a long hike. And, a tightly wrapped length of waxed cord provides emergency tinder in wet environments where lighters just fail. A knife small enough to access instantly but durable enough to pry and cut, well, that prevents dozens of minor inconveniences from becoming major problems. Even the habit of carrying a cloth treated with wax or oil to clean tools or keep moisture off your gear, it still remains relevant today. Hunters, backpackers, and anyone living off-grid often find that it's the maintenance items, not the flashy tools, that really preserve the integrity of their gear during long use. A simple way to build your own modern version is to start with a small tin or canvas pouch. Add a multi-purpose blade, a cloth treated with natural oils, a few meters of strong twine or wire, a fire-starting material that works when soaked, a tiny sewing kit, and a small source of light like a waxed candle stub. Carry it on your person, not buried in a backpack. Just as soldiers learned on the front line, quick access is what makes the difference. This improvised kit became the foundation of modern personal survival kits because, well, soldiers proved its value under fire. After the war, many veterans continued carrying small personal kits in civilian life. The same principles that protected them in trenches helped them through homesteading, hunting, mountain travel, and wilderness work. Outdoor gear companies later standardized the idea, creating pocket survival kits that were nearly identical in purpose to the soldier-made originals. But the improvisational spirit behind the WWI version is what makes it valuable even today. It's not about buying a perfect kit. It's about understanding what you need to keep your equipment functional when conditions are unforgiving. If this look into the improvised WWI kit gave you deeper insight into how ordinary soldiers engineered their own survival, subscribe to Backyard Wisdom for more historically grounded survival knowledge. Share this video with anyone who respects real-world skills tested under the harshest conditions in history.